Keep that applause going for your next comic, the very funny J.J.
What up, though? Y'all can't tell, but I'm actually 1/8 Caucasian. Thank you. I really am 1/8 though. Like my grandfather's mixed, that's half. You break a half down, that's a quarter. And if you break a quarter down, that's an eighth. That's me. Now I don't know how mathematically correct that is, but my cousin used to sell weed, and that's how he taught me fractions. So, I'm really like 3.5 grams of Caucasian. I'm $40 white. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I have a very southern accent. Originally, I'm from Georgia. Yeah, not Atlanta where everybody assume all the black people are from. I'm from the country part of Georgia, like deep into the country, like a cotton field across the street from my elementary school country. Like, you know how bad it feels to be failing your grades? And then when you look outside the window for inspiration, you can see your ancestors shaking their head at you. They just, all this hard work we did and you can't spell chlorine? Like this. Why is there H in chlorine? It should start with a K. There's a k sound. I'm not stupid, you stupid. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am kind of stupid. In the early 2000s, Georgia was ranked dead last among the 50 states in education. And the county I went to school in was ranked dead last in the state of Georgia. Yeah. And that year, I was the only kid that failed the 5th grade. I'm America's dumbest 5th grader, you know, I wear that title with a crown though, I'm proud of it. Now I'm stupid, but not dumb, okay? I know things most people do not know. Example, did you guys know that the pit bulls were the first police dogs? Yeah, and then they changed them out in the 50s with German Shepherds because they found out that pit bulls did not bite black people. As hard as y'all, I know that's a terrible joke, but stay woke, know your history. They call that CRT, they kicked me out of Florida for that joke. I recently just moved here. And when you move, they always try to make you spend unnecessary money. They're like, you should buy a nice rug will bring your room together. But didn't nobody tell me to buy picture frames so I don't look creepy? Yeah, and you need picture frames and things necessary for the simple fact that you shouldn't have your loved ones thumbtack and scotch tape to a wall. Because they stop looking like family and start looking like victims. And that's just, I can't bring nobody back to my place. It don't feel safe right now, you know? My roommate was the one who called me out about it. He was like, hey bro, fuck going on with this wall? Then I was like, ooh, that's my mama and them. They my motivation to keep going in comedy. Then he was like, it don't quite look like that. It looked like that your motivation to solve a mystery. And I had to go buy some picture frames. I love my family, I'm big on family my stuff, but I'm getting older. So I'm doing this thing called set boundaries. And when you set boundary, your family don't like that. They got mad at me over the holidays over a new boundary I had established for them, and that boundary was, don't hand me a loose neck baby. Yeah, don't hand me no child doing all this right here. If that baby can't sit up, keep it away from me. That's your pride and joy, I don't need to be touching this. Don't hand me anything, you gotta hand me with instructions. Hold his neck. Watch out for his soft spot. Why are you handing me this raw ass baby? This child is al dente. You know, it's just. Now you put me in a predicament, I mean your baby beefing. He gonna take me to a show and tell in 10 years and be like, hey, this is my Uncle JJ and he's the reason why I got scoliosis. I don't have kids. I do have nieces and nephews though. I'm a great uncle, I'm a really good uncle. Like to the point where I probably shouldn't be a father. Cause kids say crazy stuff, right? And my brother reacting to his kids saying crazy stuff is never the same reaction I have when his kids say crazy stuff. And that made me feel like I won't be a good father. Example. My nephew's birthday just passed, and for his birthday he wanted to calculate it because he's a nerd. And during his birthday party, he came up to me and my brother. He was like, Daddy, how tall are you? Then my brother said 6 foot. Then my nephew said, well, how big is that in inches? Then my brother said 72. Why? Then my nephew said, pulled out his calculator, said, hit a bunch of buttons. He said, you're 18 of my penises. Then he ran off. Exactly. Now my brother is like, why is my son measuring things in units of penises? Which makes sense as a father. But me as his uncle, I was more like, bruh, 4 inches on a 7-year-old is pretty good though. My nephew packing some heat. Just by pure statistics alone, he beating at least one dude in this room right now. It's the guy who ain't laughing at that joke. You're welcome. I gotta quit drinking wine in public. Gay dudes keep hitting on me. And I'm not homophobic, it's that some of these gay dudes be like real aggressive. Example. I was having a long day, so I went to the bar to have a glass of wine, you know, as you should. And as I was sipping my wine, this gay dude came in and he was just like, And yo, denims, Mr. Merlot, Poppy Pino, you don't hear me talking to you? Then I said, my dude. This is a Cabernet. Step your wine game up before you come talk to me, all right? And that's how you get a free Cabernet. That's how you, Canales, use that. Canales. A week before me and my girlfriend, when we first moved in, me and my girlfriend broke up. And it was a bad thing. We had it was more like, I wasn't a bad boyfriend, I just did things she didn't like. I used to run a science project, she didn't like that. The last science project I ran was, I wanted to see how long it would take her to notice that I've been drinking pineapple juice. 12 days. On day 1, she was like, ew, disgusting. But by day 12, she was rubbing on her gums like good cocaine. If you got that joke, you nasty as hell, man. My favorite person in the entire world is my grandfather. My grandfather was born in 1929 in the middle of Georgia, half black and half white. In 1929, in the time frame he was born in the middle of Georgia, half black and half white. Half this neighborhood didn't like him for one color, the other half this man neighborhood didn't like him for the other. So he grew his entire life up not liking anybody, and that's why he's my favorite person. He walked around every day of his life like no lives matter. It was beautiful. My 2nd grade teacher said, JJ, you should ask your grandfather what he do for the civil rights movements. He was a black man. He should have did something for the civil rights movements. And I went to ask my grandfather what he do. I said, Granddaddy. He said, what, boy? Because it was 9 of us and he didn't even know everybody's name. I said, what you do for the civil rights movements? He said, nothing. I said, you didn't do anything? He said, I didn't lift one finger. And I said, why not, Granddaddy? Why not? Then he looked me dead in the face and said, because the day I was about to go out there to start marching, they had changed over to them German shepherds, and that's when shit got real. Stay woke, know your history, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Bye.